Hi, friends, and welcome back. Okay, I'm hoping that the eighth time is a charm here. Oh my goodness. So, as you can see, this is a different kind of video for me. I had a subscriber ask to see my weirdest and wackiest tarot decks. So, I started that, and every time I got to a certain spot, I thought of another deck. So, even though I went through my entire collection, I still forgot decks, had to shut down, and you know me, I don't edit, so shut it off, start all over again. Please keep your fingers crossed for me this time, okay? Anyway, here is a collection of what I think are my weirdest and wackiest decks. So, I'm going to start with this one. Have you guys seen this one? The Simply Tarot. This was gifted to me by a friend at the very beginning of my tarot journey, or I should say, the beginning of my reacquaintance with tarot about, gosh, four years ago now. And this tarot deck is so incredibly bad, it isn't funny. I have a video actually where it was like, everybody show me the worst tarot decks you have. And so far, nothing has been able to beat the monstrosity that is the Simply Tarot. So this lady apparently used herself and all her friends as figures in the tarot. And the Photoshop on this is just, it's just awful. It's terrible. So she used herself and her friends in this deck. I can't, I've never read with the deck. I have it for funsies only. But if any of you have seen this deck, do you read with it? I just think it's hysterical. I mean, they've just kind of plopped heads on people, and hands and partial bodies. I mean, it's just awful. So anyway, this is probably, I would say, I don't know if you want to call it weird or wacky, but it's terrible. That's what it is. It's terrible. So yeah, this deck is old. I don't know. Let's see. When was this copyright? 2005. Well, I guess it's not that old. Well, it's 15, 16 years old. Dang, the thing 2005? Damn. I ain't thinking of my own age now. But yeah, I guess by the year, this is an old deck. So it's the Simply Tarot. Awful. The next deck I have up is Brian Huntress tarot deck. Now, Brian is an artist, and his artwork tends to be very dark and brooding, and I really liked it. Brian is definitely an artist first. He decided as a one-off to make this tarot deck. Here are the backs. And this is just his artwork and his interpretation of the deck. And I love it. But many people found his artwork difficult to connect with. And so that's why I kind of put it on my weird and wacky list, because it's different. His artwork is definitely different from anything else I've seen since, So, yeah. I love Brian's artwork. He has not done another tarot deck. He has no intentions of doing another tarot deck. This was a one-off, and he is not even selling them. If you got it during the Kickstarter, good for you, because there are no more, and there will never be any more. So yeah, but I love this deck. For me, it reads wonderfully. But I just thought I would put it in my weird and wacky, because his artwork is not the norm for most people. But I absolutely adore it. Absolutely adore it. So yeah, that is another weird and wacky. The next one on my list is this one by Chris Rusty Spiegel. I love Chris's artwork. It is the Goblin Tarot. This was a pretty amazing thing that Chris is an artist. These are the backs. And he draws goblins and goblin-like creatures. And he decided he was going to do a tarot deck. And so, I love that strength card. Look at that. So Chris started drawing the majors, and I mean, we were all on board. It was fantastic. But then he started drawing the minors, and the minors he was doing as pips. And you know, we all had a hissy fit. So, bless his heart, Chris. I mean, he's another one of these creators who was really willing to put himself out there and say, okay, what do you guys want me to do? And we wanted illustrated pip cards, or we wanted illustrated minors. And so he scrapped his pips and he did illustrated minors for us. But then there was a minority scream at the other end about, hey, we like our pips. So smart as Rusty is, Rusty did both editions. He did an illustrated minors, and then he also did a pip edition for those folks who wanted pips, wanted both decks. I, of course, just got the illustrated deck. I love his quirky little goblin-y artworks here. I love the borders on this. Yes, the cards are busy. But I like busy cards. It gives me a chance to really sit and focus and look at all the nuances of what is going on here. But I mean, come on, look at that face. Look at that face. How could you not love these little goblin faces and their friends, you know? It's awesome. And they get in such trouble, you know, the Four of Wands. So I absolutely adore this deck. I would use this deck year round, not just at like Halloween time. This is really one of my favorites. And Rusty, after this, he also ended up doing a playing card deck in the Alice of Wonderland theme. And I have that deck too, because that's really cool as well. I love anything Alice in Wonderland. So there's that. My next deck here is the, he had to make this deck such a long name. It's like Meister's World of the Weird and Wonderful Macabre. And here are the backs of this deck. And this deck is all things like creepy and horror, murderers, serial killers. There's folklore. You know, the three witches are in here. Kurt Cobain is in here. Aleister Crowley is in here. But, you know, Ted Bundy's in here, Bonnie and Clyde. So it's just a really cool friggin' deck that's like, you know, serial killers. Lizzie Borden's in here. Of course, we recognize the Unabomber, David Kaczynski. So, I mean, who does a tarot deck that's filled with like murderers, right? So I would say this has got to be one of my most weird and wacky tarot decks, and I adore it. I absolutely adore it, you know. And there were quite a few serial killers in here who I didn't even recognize. I had to look up who they were because they weren't readily. Uh, oh, Ramirez. I think that's Richard Ramirez. So, John Wayne Gacy, because they weren't readily recognizable to me. So here's folklore, the plague doctor. But yeah, some of these people, that's David Koresh. I love it. I just absolutely love it. I believe this is Bonnie and Clyde. This is the coolest deck I've ever had. And it is. It is weird and it is wacky. It is wonderful. Meister does have he does have an Etsy shop. Unfortunately, the deck is sold out right now, but he does say that he's coming back. It's coming back soon, so stay tuned. But this is a favorite deck. This is another deck that I use all year. It's not just for like Halloween creepy times. No, I love this deck all year. It's great. It's fantastic. So the next deck on my list is the infamous, what do you call it? Mortem Oraculum. Mortem Oraculum. So this was an oracle deck where the original art was painted in blood. And I believe, so Ryan Almighty down here he is a human blood artist. And I cannot remember if if he has donors for his blood or if it's his own blood. But yeah, so these are, of course, pictures of the actual paintings that he did in blood. And I don't believe that there is any paint involved. I think he paints with strictly blood. So this is definitely my weirdest oracle deck. It's an oracle deck, so I think there's like 36 cards in here. But it is most definitely one of my his artwork though is just, I mean, phenomenal. The detail. Even if if you forget the creep factor that he's done all of this in blood, the artwork itself is absolutely incredible. So yeah, this is probably one of it is by far the weirdest and wackiest deck that I own. Absolutely, hands down. So let me see here. So it says here the Mortem Oraculum Oracle deck. Oh, 22. A lot less than I thought. 22 painted cards infused with the beauty and inspiration of death, representing the transitory nature of all things. So they were meticulously hand painted using real human blood. So yeah, yep. Fully blended dark images. Yep. So yeah, that is definitely, I think, my weirdest deck. Now I have a couple others here. I have this cute little deck. This is probably, I would put under wacky. Definitely wacky. And it is, da-da-da, the Oink Oracle. So, it is an Oink Oracle. They're all pigs. I thought they were cute. But all the meanings and everything are written on the back. So there's no guidebook. And I kind of like cards like that. Shuffling them doesn't bother me at all, seeing the words on the back. But these little piggies, I mean, come on. A pig oracle, how cute is that? How wacky is that? A pig oracle. Okay, of all things, a pig oracle. This is the sweetest, most loving, most wonderful deck. If you want something to really end, if you've had a really good reading and you really want something nice as an end, these little piggies are the best. They have the sweetest messages. I love this oracle. So when you're in a feel-good reading, reach for your piggies. As my friend Alvia would say, pigsies, pigsies. So, yes. And then the last deck I have, which I thought was hysterical, actually, this is called the Demon Bitch Tarot. Yes, except it's not a tarot. It's a Lenormand. Isn't that funny? Yes, and it does have, it's got some oracle cards as well. But the most part is, it's a Demon Bitch. Demon Bitch was created by Christy Shin. She still sells the deck. And it's a Lenormand, and it's based off a cartoon character of hers called Demon Bitch. And see, it says, I'm an empath. I don't care about you. So Demon Bitch is rather feisty in her words. I love, she gets herself into all kinds of things, falling from the clouds and the lilies, the clover. So yes, Demon Bitch is a Lenormand deck, and this is the wackiest little deck I have. And it gives a great readings. It does not mince words. It will, as some of them will say, fuck you up. Demon Bitch does not mince words either. I mean, there's all kinds of swearing in the book here, which in the little pamphlet you get, which I just absolutely love. Oh, here's the title card. Demon Bitch Shitty Tarot. It's a shitty tarot because it's a Lenormand. I love it. And then she has a few extra oracle cards that you can use as well. Yeah, some of them are rather like, what the hell? But I mean, the character of Demon Bitch is just, I love it. I absolutely love this deck. So yes, that is it. The Demon Bitch Shitty Tarot. Love it. And then I have to give a shout out to this deck because I got this deck years ago. And this was handmade for me by a subscriber. Now, you all know me and the poo emojis here, right? Even though I haven't shown any poo recently, the poo lady is still here, okay? So, this wonderful person created this pouch for me, and now I'll be honest, I have not used this deck, but I absolutely love it, and I didn't want to ruin it, but it's the poop deck. get your fecal matter aggregated. First edition, 1 of 1. And she drew each one of these cards. It is a majors only deck, and I absolutely adore it. I absolutely adore it. This deck is so close to my heart. The person who created it is very close to my heart, and we are still very much close friends, and I love them to death. And this has got to be absolutely my favorite tarot deck in the world. Is this one that they created. And if you would like to out yourself in the comments, you are more than welcome to, but I won't. I just want you to know that I have these cards all these years later. I think these were gifted to me very early on in my reacquaintance with tarot, so it has to be 4 years, and it's my absolute pride and joy. Pride and joy. It has a very special place in my collection. So yeah, that is it, folks. I hope you enjoyed my world of weird and wacky tarot decks. Let me know if you have any weird and wacky tarot, oracle, Lenormand, any of those. Share with me what you have or what you would consider wacky and weird. I would love to hear what you got going on. All right, guys, sending you so much love. Mwah!